Good morning, everyone. So today I have a sponsored video from Tonic Studios showing the new craft kit that's launching for today. The craft kits come out the month after you see this, so I'll talk about that in just a minute. But this is craft kit number 43, just for blue. They did send these items free of charge in my review, and all opinions are my own. And any links I have in the description box are affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So just quickly, I'll tell you a little bit about the Tonic craft kit. It is a club. You do not have to get into the club if you want to pick it up. They have a one-off purchase, meaning just the one time I want this box and I don't want to be enrolled in the monthly membership or the quarterly membership. They have a monthly membership, which saves you some money from the one-off purchase, and they have a quarterly membership that saves you money from both of those. And, you can cancel and skip anytime, whenever they open it up. So you can look more into that. This is I believe the only thing they have that is the actual club, where you can enroll. I know the stamp club says club, but, you pick it up as you go along. The designer's choice, you pick it up as you go along. Showcase, if you like it, you go ahead and pick it up. It's not something you enroll in. But this is again, the Craft Kit Club, and you do get 10% off the site if you're a member there. So you use the code TCK and you get 10% off the site. I believe not off any other kits though, something like that. But you guys can check that out. Of course, they have information there. I'll have the links for you guys, and you can read all about it. What I was trying to say is what I'm showing you now is basically the preview, because I do get this question and sometimes I forget to talk about it. So, or people get a little bit confused. They say, oh, I got another one, not this one. Well, this is the preview period, basically. So for the next, 2-3 weeks or until it sells out, however, you'll be able to look at it, skip it if that's what you want to do, keep it. If you want to keep it, obviously do nothing. If you're a member, it'll just go out to, but it'll go out after the first of the following month. Okay. So I know it sounds a little bit confusing. But basically what you're seeing now is for the beginning of the next month, okay? So people already now should be getting Craft Kit 42, what we saw last month, okay? So hopefully that helps, not to be confusing. I do have some notes here. Because what I have in here is a little bit different. So basically I get sample boxes, normally. So what I have is going to be slightly different. I'm just opening it up. They're not packaged. Usually the embellishments are in a little package on their own, so you can kind of check them out. But this month it was a little bit different. So I will talk about the embellishments first, and then let's do this first. Let's do the dies. So again, it's called Just for Blue. You guys, if you're a card maker, I know a lot of times card makers aren't so much into the 3D thing. Sometimes they are, but this is going to be really fun. Look at this. Already, just looking at these, I was like, oh, this is so cool. So let's take a look at this. So we have what I would say is like a card creator. You can just build it up. Obviously, you can put it in anything. You can put this on a mini album or however you want to use it. But we have this large die, what I would say is the central die here. And it looks like it makes a 5x7. I can hopefully measure this. Hold on. I always have my little ruler around here. I'll use this one even though it's a funky ruler. Yeah, if I'm looking at these outer pieces or even the inside one, it's basically exactly at 5 inches by 7 if you're counting in the corner pieces. Exactly 5x7 there. Of course, the spacing's up to you if you want to bring it in a little bit or further out, But basically, it's intended to make a 5x7 card. So we have these corner pieces. What I love is that they include 2 of the same ones, so you can cut 2 out at the same time. So, in 2 passes, you have your corner pieces cut. These 2 are slightly different than these, where these have that little dot feature, which is really cute. These guys, let me see if I can put it maybe, back here. Don't have that. And then we have this large outer piece and then all these layering ovals, which you can then take this set and then you have all these features. Again, there's 2 of each of these. See, they're the same design, so you can run those through at the same time and get those done quickly. This beautiful inlay, if you want to use it. If you don't want to use it, if you want to use this as a shadow and then still have the inlay on top, so whatever's behind it shows through. It's 2 different pieces. So you can see this top piece and this bottom piece, so that way if you wanted to a different design, you can double this one up. You have it down here, then you move it to the top. Same thing for this one. So now you have 2 different frames from the one set, which I think is really great. This oval here that you can inlay with the next sized oval here. We have these two pieces again, slightly different. This one has like a little heart motif, and this one is a little bit different. So they are cut in half there, so you can use it in different ways. And then just this really pretty like deco piece that you can then layer in here. Really, really gorgeous. And then in that same vein here, this middle piece, we have these little guys. Of course, have a sentiment, and of course, you know, it's hard for me to read them or make them out. So we will cut them just so that we for sure know what they say. So cute. So there's two of those. Then the stamp set also has that same shape and it says made with love, clearly, that you can cut out. And also you also have these other stamp pieces, again, two of the same of each one, that you can then stamp in here. If you didn't want to die cut, you want to do some stamping, you know, you can do that. You don't even have to cut these. If you just wanted to use the stamp, you know, let's say this is your card base and you have this pretty layered up, and on the edges, if you just want to put a stamp, you can just stamp it. You don't even have to use the little corners. So really a lot of ways to use it for someone special, sending love and thanks, thinking of you, special wishes. And what usually is also, let me put this in here. I cannot wait to use this. And like it's called Just for Blue, so you will see. We do have a little sticker, and sometimes my kit has it, sometimes it doesn't. There's usually a leaflet that will come in your kit. So like I said, mine's a sample, so it looks a little different. Sending love and thanks is the sticker that's on this month. And you can also stick that sticker here if you would like, or just put it wherever you want. But that's what that is. Okay, so let me talk about the embellishments for a second. What I have here are, some of them are larger pots and some of them are smaller. Usually in the kits you're going to get like a sample size, so just keep that in mind. Of course, Tonic does a great job of delineating exactly what's in the kits, even sizes and everything, so you can definitely check that out and read it and make sure you're getting what you think you're getting there. But that's the only difference here. We have the expanding mousse in gray matter. Really cool stuff. And this one, you know, use it however you like, how you use embellishment mousse, but basically you put it through a stencil and then you wait and it poofs up. I have to remember if this one, there's one of them where you shouldn't heat set it because it kind of does some funky things. I'm not sure if that's this one, but, or if heat setting it, it just helps it poof up. I'll have to find that out and I'll get you that information, okay? But there's that. We are going to have some silver bullion gilding flakes. Again, your pot will be different than this, but I'm very curious to use those. I haven't used theirs before. We have the Arctic Blast Nouveau glitter marker. This is a water-based marker, very shiny, very glittery. It's not like an alcoholic marker where you can use it on a slick surface, so because it'll just come away. So just know this is more for papers and porous things like that, okay? Really gorgeous color with Arctic Blast. Again, the blues. What we've seen so far is like silvery. You'll have the, I believe, mini of the Frosted Lake and the Nouveau Dream Drops. The Marine Mist Sparkle Spray, and this is the mini size here. So cute. One thing I will show you is these hearts, just so you have an idea of the hearts, but yours will be more of a teal color called Azure Hearts, but this one is like a sapphire color, but yours will be more of a teal, okay? And then we have a completely, you know, reusable item that's going to be there forever, where you might run out of these other items. You have your Nouveau tweezer, the little fine tip. Now, let's look at the papers. I think this is going to be gorgeous. Let's see. I did write down the paper colors because I was given the names of them, but as we go along, I'll try to figure out which ones are which. Oh, so pretty. I love, again, that they come in this packaging because it keeps them nice and sturdy and nothing gets bent. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm trying to figure out, okay, maybe it's this way. Ooh, okay, so this is definitely Jungle Fever. It's a specialty card, a speciality card. As you can see, it has like the palms. It's more of like a deep teal. Really pretty. Ooh, the next one up is definitely Chrome Silver Mirror, as you can see. That is a single-sided paper. Both of those are. Those specialty papers. Look at that. Okay, this must be Turquoise Lake. So pretty. And you know, it's funny because in the blue, I'm thinking blue like deep. This is a gorgeous colorway. That teal blue kind of. Look, in here we have the ocean blue and the classic card. Again, the classic card has texture on one side and it's a little bit less texture on the other side, but there still is a little bit of texture. You can see that there. As you can see, this side is more textured. And then we have also the Misty Gray classic card, which again is textured. Ooh, look at this. This must be Tidal Wave. Oh, Tidal Wave. I'm gonna have to buy tons of Tidal Wave. Look how pretty that is. That is the mirror card. Oh yeah, I'll have you picking that up once that's available, if not already. And then we have this one here. This is so cool. This is, I would say, Arctic Ice. It's another specialty paper. Again, the specialty papers have a handmade feel to them. Sometimes they feel a little more papery, a little more just like covered. I don't know, it's so pretty. Look at that. It's like these little chips. And then I believe this one is Luna Silver. So paper after my own heart with the last name Luna. So it's Luna Silver. And those are double-sided. Their pearlescent papers are normally double-sided, which is really great. I love them. Look at that. All right, so I am going to grab some items and kind of plan a little bit of what I want to do, and we'll get started. Okay, I've chosen some papers. I think what we'll do today is a shaped card. So I have a piece of just regular standard A2 size smooth card here, and I just folded it in half just to have a hinged area here. And I'm going to take the larger die, and then we'll cut different matte layers to go over that here and there. So I have this big guy, which I'll be taking, and I'm going to orient the card this way. So it's more of a landscape. If you wanted to, do your hinge this way, of course you would fold your paper or you do something differently. But it would be this way. So I'm just going to do mine here, and I'm going to eyeball about how much I want to hinge that. We want a nice strong hinge. You don't want to make it too floppy. And so I'm kind of just paying attention to what would be straight. Those will be chopped in there. I think that's okay. Putting a little bit of tape. This is going to be completely covered up, so even if the tape gouges it, it's not going to be a big deal. And I'm just going to cut that out. Run that through the old tangerine. So basically on this one, it's just the die cutting plate. I have my paper with the die facing down on it, and then our top plate. And I'll run that through right quick. This one's going to feel a little bit snug because we have that double card in there. And it's taped down, but let me remove the tape. Carefully. Oh, yeah, I was going to say it might tear, but like I said, I'm going to cover this anyway, so I wasn't too concerned that the tape is going to tear the card base, but of course you want to be careful with that. And there is the actual card base. Okay, let me clean up. I'll be right back. So the next thing I'm going to cut out is what's going to actually layer on here, and I'm going to use the mirror card for the very back of it. So this one I'm just going to cut out just like this, just plain like this. But I know people like for me to get rid of this middle section so you can use it for something else because it's basically going to be covered up. So what I'm going to do for that is just take this die just to remove that middle section, since we can use it for something else. So I'm just going to place this on here, that there, again, a little tape. Let's take some of that stickiness off. That was too sticky. And that one I'm going to place on the outside so it doesn't interfere with the tape that I need, or my paper that I need here. And I'm just going to remove as much of the stickiness as I can from this piece. And put that on the die cutting plate, again, face down. Cutting into there. I'll run this through and I'll be right back. Oh, that is so cool. On the negative, I love how it impressed it in there. Ooh. So if I knew that was going to do that, next time I would save this piece of paper a different way, but look how it impressed in there. It looks really nice. Okay. So again, the only reason I cut this piece here was to keep it for later. Okay, so now we have this extra piece that you can use for something else. But I'm gonna have this frame. Not really a frame, you don't have to cut the center out. You don't, I was just doing that. I'm gonna use the classic card. And I'm gonna put that there real quick. I'm gonna cut this down a little bit. You don't have to put whole pieces of paper through your machine if you don't want to. So I'm gonna trim this one down. And on this one, I'm going to go ahead and use one of these guys. So of course we're gonna do 1 and 1. So I'm gonna do that one. I'm gonna place it here. And then when I run it through the next time, I'm not going to move it. I'm gonna replace this so I have perfect kind of layering in there. And we'll go from there. So I'm gonna stick that down right there. Maybe reposition this so that it's holding some of that frame too. Those outer areas are going to be cut away, so I'm not super concerned with that. And again, I'll run it through, and I'll be right back. Okay, and really I don't want to move this. Okay, I'm just putting an extra piece of tape on here just to hold this down. I just want this piece. So I want to reuse this right now, so I'm going to take this off. I'm going to clean that out, because normally what you want to do, and I'm just hitting on my work surface here so things pop out, is clean out your dies. You don't want to run that through again if it's all full of paper, just because sometimes once it gets too full, it's not going to cut as well because there's already paper in there, so it doesn't really allow the die to get as close. So it's all full of paper. So I think I have one more to pop out right here. Stuck to my tape. Alright. And I'm just going to leave the tape that's on there, just kind of out of the way for now. And that's why I just didn't want it to move. If it moves, it's not a big deal. You can reposition it, but I just prefer to be able to position it where it is. And what I'm going to do is stick this down, and honestly I'm going to remove the outer frame. You don't need it, so you don't need it to cut through again. You know, unless you want to leave it there. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and move this. Because really all we need is the frame, and now it's positioned where I need the tape. Or where I need the die, should I say, excuse me. And I'm going to get rid of all these little extra bits. Alright. I'll run that through, and I'll be right back. Very good. I'll remove that carefully. Again, by now the tape has been used a few times, so it's a little less sticky. Look at that. Gorgeous. And that's basically what I wanted it for, so it can mat into this guy. And we have that shine coming through the back. Let me clean up a bit and we'll go to the next layer. Okay, for the next layer, I think I'm going to use, of course, this gorgeous paper. I mean, how could I not use that? I've got Tidal Wave. And again, I'll trim that down. I'm going to use this whole piece. I don't need to cut anything away to keep for later. I guess I could, but I'm not going to. I'll show you in just a second what I'm going to be doing with this. So with this one, I'm just going to go with that, and then this inner piece here that will cut out those little slits. Anytime you have a little paper like that, you got to get rid of it, especially with mirror card or gold, like anything like that that's shiny or has some kind of texture, because it will imprint. That little piece of paper, if I had left it there, will definitely make a mark in my paper, and I don't want that. So I trim that away, or push that away. And again, I'm trying to get this tape on the excess so it doesn't stick too badly to the inner portion there. And I will run this through, and I'll be right back. I do want to mention as I'm working with this that, you know, I'm doing the layers one layer at a time, but this plate is big enough that if you want to run 2 or 3 pieces of the same project at the same time, you can get it done and it'll just pop right out. All those pieces. But again, for the tutorial or review, I just do them one at a time. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Look at how it just raises up those edges. So cool. Okay, let me clean this up and I'll be right back. So far, this is what we have here with our different layers. I mean, that is just gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I'm going to top that with this little piece here. And we're going to do some fun things with some of these pieces. So this one I'm just going to leave just like that. So I'm just going to trim this one out. And I'll be right back. I just want to show you real quick. I also ran this one through the rubber embossing mat. Just to get that little lip around this area here. And that's all what I did for it. Let me show you real quickly. Ooh. Literally just to get that little extra bit right around there. So there's that. Okay, so a couple things. I am going to do some fun stuff with this piece and with the gray piece. I'm just going to put down a little mat that I can clean up. This is that gray piece. See, it's all gray. And I'm going to take our little mica mist and add a little something. Let me get a... There we go. So a lot of this isn't going to show because it's behind the other frame, but I think it'll be pretty just to kind of show up behind a little bit. And this stuff is, it kind of has like a chunky feel, a little bit coarse. It's just lovely. So I'm going to let that dry. And then I'm going to put this to the side, this whole thing, before I make a mess here. On this little piece, I just have this glue pen. It's a Nuvo glue pen. You can use your deluxe adhesive, but you have to be, that one's a little more tricky because you got to wait for it to get sticky but not dry. Where this one, basically when it's clear, you'll know you can use it. And I'm going to use some of these guys. I should put this on a scrap paper. Let me see if I can do that. And that way maybe anything that ends up out here I can pick up. And now I'm using this. I haven't used this one yet, so I need to prep this. I think I haven't used it yet. And I want to use it in a messy way, so I'm going to see what I can do. So I'll be right back. I'm going to keep pumping it until the glue comes out, and I'll start using it then. It's coming out already. Now this has a chisel tip. I don't really want the chiseling to show, but I do want just to have like messy areas. And you can kind of play with it because it's a little bit watery. So hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of making puddles of this. Really more towards the edges because that's where it's going to show up the most. I don't want it to have the harshest lines, so I'm just kind of just adding it. Hopefully you can kind of see what I mean. Again, something like that. I can blow on it, I can kind of wiggle. Either way, I need that milkiness to kind of become translucent like this, okay? And I'll be right back. Probably ready. I'm not, it just needs to look artsy. I'm not really too super concerned. If you're using like a stamp, because you can definitely put that glue on a stamp, or if you have like the kind of glue that's meant for this kind of stuff, you definitely want it to dry and look really nice. But here, not dry completely, of course. So what I'm saying is get translucent. I'm just going to do a little bit. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to have a little help from this tweezer. I'm going to get all over my hands anyway, but if you want to be a little more careful getting it out of the pot, because this pot, even though, it's nice and compact, and then the mini pots that you'll get, there's tons in there. So, if you were to pour it out, it would be quite a bit. So I'm just grabbing some, see how it wants to all come out. I'm just going to grab some of this. And whatever's left over, that's kind of why I'm using this paper. You can throw back into your pot, and I'll show you that in just a minute. I'm going to start pushing them down. Again, well, now I'm going to start getting messy, aren't I? You just pat, pat, pat. Oop. And if you have like a little tool that helps you do this, that's fine. I'm just using my fingers for now. Okay, let's get to it. Hold on. Move this to the side a little bit. And you can also put it in like a a different container when you're done if you want, because like I said, it kind of gets everywhere. And I'm just rubbing away the excess. I'm not using my nails, I'm not digging into it, I'm just kind of rubbing. And wherever you didn't have glue, it'll just go away. And then I'm going to use a little brush, since this is textured cardstock, and get rid of those little bits that are just kind of in there. But there we go. All right, I'll clean this up. Again, I'll just scoop this up and put it back into my little pot, and I'll be right back. Just real quick, what I was saying is I can see that there's some bits in here, and I just use a little brush. You can use a paintbrush or whatever, just get rid of those little excess pieces. And I pretty much got everything back in the pot, so that was pretty good. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, for the sentiment, I'm just going to bring back that white paper I had used earlier. And I think I'm going to stamp Special Wishes. Of course, I oriented my card landscape. Most of these are portrait. So I'm going to use one of the sentiments here. I think I'm going to use the one that says Special Wishes. And I have an idea. We'll see if it works. I want to use the glitter marker to ink this up. So I'm going to apply it directly on the stamp and then maybe on another surface and then dip into it and then stamp it if that doesn't quite work how I would imagine. So I'm going to get this going. I'm giving it a little bit of a shake, but you do want to, again, pump it, just like I did with the glue pen. And I'll be right back. Okay, I think that's ready. It's pretty juicy there. Again, I'm just going to take it and run it over. I have a feeling if I put this on a surface, it'll be easier for me to get it, to make sure it's on all of it, but I'm just going to go over the whole thing, making sure I'm touching all of it. Like I said, this doesn't really dry or stay on slick surfaces, so you can definitely do this. And if it looks great, great. If not, I'll put it on an acrylic block or something and dip into it. I think I've covered all of it. It looks pretty good. I'm going to put it right here. Don't press too hard. A lot of times when you press too hard, you get that juiciness all around. Hey, pretty good. Okay, I'm going to let that dry completely though, and then I'm going to die cut it with the smallest oval, okay? So I'll just run that through. And I'll be right back. Okay, so we have several layers here. So we have our base card, which I will get to in just a minute. We have this guy and this guy. So I'm going to glue this down. And then I'm going to pop the next layer up on dimensional adhesive, and then we'll play with that a little bit too. So I'm just going to put this down. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stick my frame down because I did get rid of the back of the frame, or of this piece, so I need this to be on here. And we'll get that on there. Just eyeballing that's in the right spot. Looks pretty good. A little bit too high there. And then we'll put this part down. And be careful with this one. I'm just adding the glue on here, but again, if you want to put glue on the back of your hand and pat your piece of paper onto that, that's great too. I'll probably do it anyway because I like to do that, and then I like to put some glue just to make sure every little nook and cranny has some glue on it. I believe this is symmetrical, but just in case it's not, yeah. And this is going to go edge to edge because it's, the piece should be right behind it. So I'm going to eyeball that, be careful. And we do have a little second to play with it since it's a very slick surface that we're putting this on. Okay, I'm going to keep holding that down until it's set, and I'll be right back. I'm going to wash my hands in the meantime too. So I will put this to the side for a moment. Then we have these pieces. What I think I'm going to do is pop this one up from this. So I'm just going to glue this one down. And then this piece will be to together popped up from this, and this will be popped up from this. Okay, so I will be right back. I'll put some dimensional adhesives on the back of these pieces, and we'll put it all together. Oh, I do want to mention the expanding mousse. Yes, you can add heat to it, and that's what actually helps it expand. So that's always a great thing. And Tidal Wave, this paper right here, is available already. And I think I've just been concentrating on water spray. I love that paper so much. So if you wanted to pick up just more of that gorgeous paper, I'll include the link for that too. And I'm just trying to place this carefully before I really push it down. I always kind of keep an eye. And then I can remove the backs of this one. And I think I'm going to add one more thing just to add a little more dimension. We'll make a little twine bow. Again, before I squish it down, I really want to make sure. I think it needs to come over this way just a bit. That looks good. All right, guys, and that is our shaped card with many layers. Of course, you can poof up and puff up all these different layers however you like. I do love that marker. I don't know if you can see. I know there we go. You can see that shimmer on there. Pretty cool. Okay, and so I have this twine from Tonic. If it's still available, I'll have the link in the description box for you. But I'm going to make a little bow, and I've showed you guys how to do this in the past. I'm just going to take this twine. It's nice and thick, so hopefully you can see it really well. It's kind of in front of my fingers here. I'm going to wrap it around. We're just going to use these two fingers. My index, middle, index, middle. I'm going to make it 3. And as you can see, I kept looping around there. I'm going to take that off. We're going to finish that loop. We're going to push it over everything, okay? Even this, we're going to take it over, bring it in here. Then we're going to bring it under this loop that we just created. We created this cross right here. Bring it under there. And again, you can loop this as many times as you like and then tighten it up. Just give it a good tightening. If you tighten this one, it's going to pull it. It's going to make it smaller. So just pull this one. And you can adjust the loops. Like obviously my middle finger is a little bigger than my ring, or my ring finger, than my index there. But if you wanted to. Now I'm questioning myself. Is that called the index finger or is that just called the pointer? Okay. And you can trim this down whenever you put it on your project, but for now I'm just going to trim a little bit off. Oh, that's great. Okay. Some Nouveau Deluxe. I'll probably trim it down just a little bit more. But I think it'll be cute right there. You can put it up on top of here too, but I think that's cute right there. There it is. Awesome kit. I love, it has so many different things in it, but just that it makes such gorgeous cards, and like the shaped card. I mean, there's so much you can play with. You can just use the corners on any card, right? These other corners that are in here. And I also cut out the little sentiments. Remember I said I would do that. So it says from me to you. And then I cut this one upside down, of course. And this, with the other oval, you would cut it out. So from me to you, or you can leave it just like that. And then this is with lots of love. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll have the links in the description box. Thank you so much, Tonic, for sponsoring the video, for sending this kit. It is really awesome, guys. The colorway is really cool. In my imagination, I thought, okay, blue, it's going to be blue, like blue, but this is just a very trendy teal blue. Like, I just love it. So thanks for watching. I did want to add my Dream Drops. So again, with these little guys, all we're going to do is just kind of put them up high. You don't really want to start touching your paper because that's just going to not look too great. So let me just make sure it's going okay. So I kind of start off just a little bit above the paper, and I'm just going to put these in this area. Like here is nice. And I kind of give it a swirl and come up. I stop squeezing, give it a little swirl, come up. I'll probably put one here. Again, a little bit off the paper. Stop squeezing. Give it a little swirl. And then, of course, I'll probably put them wherever else I think is right. But for right now, I want them on these 4 corners. That's it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.